That's what we see Jay-Z has done. That's what we see Puff has done. The music don't become how you pay the bills. It's a lot of pressure off of it. You got other things bringing in income, you can make music.
This new song with Nip and Jay, what the fuck, I got something to say. What a slap in the fucking face. Like what the fuck is going on? Who told you that song and did you know all along? And why did your bitch sell that painting 2 weeks after he was gone? I'm gonna tell you what it feels like. It feels a little fishy. Feels like something's going on ever since that John Legend song and college prediction of a Grammy. If you ask me, I can't stand him. Seems a little weird. Question number one, why's there no blood? Question number two, Sam left in the AM is true, but you're talking about the shits all up in the afternoon. Don't trip, we're gonna find out the truth soon. Who did what to who? Did they plan to eat the chili fries or was it just a surprise? Can you see the lies of witness in a cowboy's eyes? Are we gonna just sit here and forget? Are we gonna ride like Nip said? It's a little weird that the judge quit. Handing out immunities like candy makes me sick. I got a lot of unanswered questions like, why's the footage all grit and I can't see shit? Who the fuck is that white man in that white BMW? Probably was the FBI. Yeah, I noticed that white guy, and I noticed the car wasn't in the pictures when they showed them afterwards. They thought we would forget. They got that shit backwards. They weren't expecting me to drop this track and raise all these questions with my Mac words. I'm really mobbing through LA smoking backwoods. I've been doing this shit all my life. TMC, AMI. You might just see an empty parking lot when you ride by. Well, me, I see way more. I see an independently owned store. I see the community taking power back, whether you're white, Mexican, Asian, or black. As long as you're not blue. Good ones, there might be a few, but from my life experience, I'm like, fuck that. I'm not defending Eric, but what's the fucking delay? They requested a quick trial, it's been over 800 days. They try to distract us in so many clever, creative ways. Yeah, you got your Grammy, and now you're a billionaire. But what about the families that are still living there? Seems a little unfair, just a little something to compare. I never seen a fireman wearing a bulletproof vest. Yes, the shit to me seems a little suspect. The shit's a little weird. Crisis actors taking away our fathers, making our child some bastards, killing creative men and women for their masters. The waves that Nip wrote in, you didn't know when it began. A bunch of new chapters. You didn't think about what would happen after. We would put the pieces together on your transparent bullshit. I can see right through it, like the clear blue sky in the LA sunny weather, where the palm trees swing side to side and we ride together on a white horse or a double R hearse in a foreign car. Either way, you gotta be on guard because they're on tap for anyone who's brown or black with tats. Everybody sees it, but nobody wants to attack. It's sad if you ask. We all gotta blast back. We're in the game, though we can't touch the ball. Seems a little unfair if you ask me, that's all. So take your ignorant ass to YouTube and type in Tanique Reviews to get the real news. We're doing the shit for justice, not views. Sharing knowledge and coming together, that's the real tool. He tried to lead us to the lake, so don't sleep on the knowledge that he gave to me and you. He wanted us to learn from his mistakes, so with our new knowledge, good decisions we could make. And also one thing I wanted to say myself, they killed Dr. Sebi because he was teaching health. Assassins, they come in all shapes and sizes, big booties, hips and thighs. Oh, you're Diddy's girl, right? Oh yeah, John Legend, some things happen at your video shoot. I got a couple questions for you. All those strings you pulled, you still can't make a rap hit. You punk ass little bitch, you probably got a little dick. All the shit that you have to did. This new song with Nip and Jay, what the fuck, I got something to say. What a slap in the fucking face. This new song with Nip and Jay, what the fuck, I got something to say. What a slap in the fucking face.
Okay, that little bit, you probably got a little bit. That is Rain Cash doing his own Anonymous. I'm playing music and he doing the song. You can get that song anywhere that music is streaming. YouTube Music, Yahoo Music, Apple Music. He's on there and he's doing this thing. Like we tell y'all, you know, he's been with us since 2019. He put that rap together. I put the music together and God has blown him up. You know, he's got his own clothing line and got his own skateboard line. He really doing out big out in California. Yay. Following the blueprint that Nipsey left. Even got his own store. But he'll tell y'all about that when he comes on. His boy is doing it big. Well, we're here for part 7. For those of you who don't know, part 7. And if you ain't seen a part, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So if you saw a part and didn't get it emailed to you, and the only way you can get this is by email, okay? Email me at taniquereviews@gmail.com. This is private. It is in book form, coming out soon, early next year. And it is going to be a documentary as well. So this is really going to be big. And in the book, it's just raw and undone. I mean, everything. The names are there. We're not protecting the innocent. We're telling the truth. This actually happened to me. So therefore, the title of it is called "The Woman I Married Was Married to Somebody Else and Didn't Tell Me." And certain segments have their own title, like this one, "A Hoe's Disguise." That's correct. We call this a hoe's disguise. What is a hoe disguise? That's when you try and dress yourself up and look like a real woman, but you know you ain't nothing but a whore on the inside. So we call this a hoe's disguise.
Could you get your hoe? I wish you would. I call that bitch a hoe because that shoe it fits so good. All through the hood, fucking niggas with no prophylactics. Scared to ask it, man, it's 96, it's getting drastic. Without your plastic headed for the red with your sex. Because you eat from behind and you ain't trying to get no head. I've heard you said that you love that hoe from here to China. Is it blind as straight jaws can see that hoe got jaws like breaks through Midas?
One of the things that used to trip me out, let me just start by this. Everything on this channel is alleged and it's used for entertainment, spiritual, and religious and educational purposes. Okay, we want to get that in the way. So, I can remember like trying to say things to this woman to elevate her self-esteem. It was very difficult because when I met her, she was really beat down and downtrodden. And I learned a lesson about that. When you come in and you try and make a person feel, different than they feel. I mean, they already feel like crap because that's exactly what they are, but you want to try and convince them that they're not. If you watch their behavior, as they get up and think, okay, well, maybe you like it, you think they would feel good. No, what it does to some people is actually make them think, well, if he felt that way, then maybe somebody else would feel that way. And I would do everything I possibly could, from riding bikes and everything, and just look at it. Just look for yourself.
My beautiful, sweet wife. Look at that. So beautiful. We're finna lose so bad. We're finna race, y'all. I'm finna win. I'm finna beat
her. Could care less at all, period. Just unbelievable. You can't, as somebody once told me, you can't take a hoe and turn her into a housewife. Yeah, I had somebody tell me that one. I had a pimp tell me that. I said, man, look, bro, you cannot take a hoe and turn her into a housewife, even if the first two letters of the word housewife is H-O. You can't do it. And he said, I'm telling you, watch out for these people who want to pose like they're housewives, but on the inside of them, he said, they ain't nothing but raving hoes. And like I always say, and I say to you guys all the time, this game is something easy to get into. You can get into it, get married for $30, and it could cost you thousands or even millions in some people's case to get out of it. You just can't walk out of it because the other person wants to fight, wants you to spend all of your money and everything. That's what they're really after. They're after to try and break you, to make you lose everything that you worked hard for. While you're there, they try and use everything you worked hard for because they have no way of getting it themselves. And then they try and pattern yourself because, like I say, she was a very good copycat. From your words to another woman's words, another woman's actions, try and copycat that manner, especially when it came to business. What she heard somebody say, and she attended these classes, these online classes where these coaches try and teach you the language and lingo of how to get a job. But at the same time, while everybody else is there looking and everybody else is, watching and everybody else is trying to see, she's looking and writing down their emails. Yeah, she's writing down their emails because she's going to reach out and touch anybody that fits her, man, woman, don't make a difference. She got their emails, and when she can find alone time, she'll email them. Oh man, I heard you talking and I'm going through the same thing. And these people, unfortunately, does Zoom put your emails and stuff out there? They can hear what you're saying because the instructors would say, tell us something about yourself. I've talked to many instructors since then who is definitely going to change their format and definitely going to not make people's emails appear because they never thought about it. They never thought about it. And people have came to them and said, yeah, I did get a phone call. Well, not a phone call, a text, an email from such and such. And they did reach out. And I thought it was a good thing to do. And I reached back out. And then 2 weeks later, we were going to lunch. And then I didn't know I had to pay for it, but I was paying for the lunch and paying for the drinks and everything. It didn't cross my mind. And after that, 2 weeks later, I need $200. I'm being beat up by my husband. Everything is wrong. And, these people are looking for a job, but at the same time, they're trying to help people. And then that money, depending on who it is, would go from big money to small money. And then after that, you wind up on a lot of people. Now you're talking about, well, my husband, me and my husband, you ain't telling me you got two. Me and my husband are getting a divorce, and he works for this company, that company, P&G, L'Oreal, and I'm going to get at least $3 million. And some people bought that and they actually believe that. And then they would lend money and stuff like that. And some of those people wanted their money back. That's part of the reason how when she got busted down at the Sherm convention, you had these other cats that were about to do a story, but they were like, I better check with Tanique because we think that he may know this person and they didn't want to, if this was a family member or anything. And so they contacted me going, hey man, what's the story with this? Because we're hearing this, that, and the other. And the guy says, well, look, I'm going to send you a picture and you tell me if you know this person, if you know them, and tell me what they are, whether or not we can continue. And he said, this is only one picture if you know the person. So you just answer me back. This is an email. So I get the picture. I go, whoa. I said, yeah, I definitely know this person. And it's, who is this? This is a chick that I married. Oh, whoa, man. Look, man, you someplace we can talk? I was like, I'm someplace and we gonna talk definitely. So we got to send you a bunch of more pictures. Said, bro, I don't know what this is gonna do, but I'm just telling the truth. And then begin to send me pictures and video. Videos are chopped up because they couldn't send a huge file. They didn't have the big file email. You had to pay for it. With the big file email, you can send large files. And finally, I said, get this file here, this file company, the app, and you can send large files to anybody. We use it in music studios. Somebody may come in and record 40 songs, and we got this big file email that sends out giant files. You can send out an hour-long video, or however, if you have this particular email. And so he would send the videos full length, her in the washroom, putting on the old wig because she's got to leave. And so not thinking that, it's so weird, not thinking that I'm observant. Like I would go upstairs and she don't know I know she got like 20 fucking wigs on the mannequin. I got pictures of those too. I didn't upload those. I'm looking for something else that I didn't upload too. I should have uploaded it. And so what she would do is take like that book bag you guys saw, those wigs and shit inside of that. So she'd go down there and before she get in there, go in the washroom, put on one wig, and then when she was finished doing her dirty fucking work, would put on the wig she had, went down there with because she got to come back home and didn't think nobody was gonna notice. But people noticed and people caught that shit on film. And the first thing we looking at, like, she's doing this shit and trying to disguise herself. And so me and the other creator was like, this is a whole disguise. Come down and do this shit and thinking these wigs make her look good when mostly everybody figured it out anyway. But nevertheless, they're like, this is a whole disguise. And the thought came to our mind, how many other people live like this? How many other women who are involved actively? And y'all, like I said, y'all saw Abercrombie and Finch, where people were going to get jobs, and the only way to get those jobs, they had to give out their ass. That was the one thing I noticed about Sherm. I noticed those people were down there for wrong reasons. And she always talked about other people and why they were down there. like they were on the bus talking about this, that, and the other, but I knew they were after somebody else. I'm saying, bitch, you talking about your ass. That's what I'm saying. You talking about your ass. But I didn't say nothing because as far as I was concerned, this was over with. There's no question about it. It was seriously over with. I don't care what you told this woman, it didn't work. Tried everything possible.
Come on, you can use the Olympic. Go, come on, baby, use it. Oh, she's going backwards. Go for it. Go for it. Go for it. Come on, that's it. There you go. That's it. Go ahead, Bess. Lose that weight. Come on, Bess. Come on, Bess. Bess, she going backwards. See, that's what I'm talking about. Wait. You know how you do it wrong. You going backwards.
You do it. You see how you do it.
I ain't never seen nobody don't know how to use a lip. I mean, I'm just saying. I'm just playing. I'm just saying. I never seen that before.
Could you get your hoe? I wish you would. I call that bitch a hoe because that shoe it fits so good. All through the hood, fucking niggas with no prophylactics. Scared to ask it, man, this 96 is getting drastic. Without your plastic head and full the red with your sex. Because you eat from behind and you ain't trying to get no head. I heard you said that you love that hoe from here to China. Is it blind as Ray Charles can see that hoe got jaws like breaks through Myers?
See, I loved you like a sister, but you died too quick. And that's why we called you bitch. I bet you.
I don't care what I did, or what I said, it didn't matter. Look at these different wigs. Just complete wigs. And actually one day when I saw it and I realized she was wearing a wig, this is the day I realized like that shit was a wig. You know, it's in the daytime. That's what you look like. I said, you look like it's hoochie coochie everything. It's all hidey ho at the party, drinking for this rodeo. I'm like, wow. I should have known her, but I didn't know her. When I first saw her, this was her favorite wig. And I mean, this shit would change like drastically. And it does change her looks hell of a lot. And if she wasn't wearing a wig, she kept hats on, so you couldn't see what the hell was wrong with her hair and her head and shit. You know, and then you had to walk into it like I did. When I walked into it, I was like, what the hell is this? This, of course, was in the Bahamas. And I'm like, oh, where, where's your hair? Like, oh, man, that's my wig. I'm like, damn. So she was going down to the convention. At the convention, these people caught her in the restroom, public restroom, trying to wash her ass up and then pulling out wigs out the bag and changing wigs and changing back into shirts and jeans and shit. And they were like, first off, this area is not like sanitized. So what kind of person will go into an unsanitized area like that and try and sanitize themselves in a public washroom where you can get any amount of diseases? And damn, and let's not forget, she already had a disease, maybe two. Why would you want to make the shit even worse than what it actually is? What am I talking about? You see here, she's taking Valivacor for herpes. You know, why would you go into a public washroom trying to wash your ass, change jeans, change wigs? And, you know, the other thing I was trying to tell her before I left, why would anybody want to film this? Somebody went through great trouble filming it, and I was trying to give it to her. So, you know, I knew I wasn't going to be there to protect her for whoever the hell it was. But no, she wants to go off because I ascertained it, because I got it. Not worrying about what she did, or definitely wasn't sorry for it at all, period. There's no sorrow inside of a person that is reprobate. None. These people who practice hoodoo and voodoo, they know exactly what they're doing. The only thing they get mad is what she's mad at now. She got found out and busted. And all of a sudden now, by phone, for people who are long distance, pretending their ass is a victim and trying to gain things to look victimized. And these people are so stupid. They see Tanique reviews. They can call me and ask me what happened and see my paperwork and everything they need to know, but they don't. They really want to believe with a wig on and a soft voice that this woman is a victim when this woman is nothing but a hoe in disguise. That is absolutely the truth. A hoe in disguise who's probably looking for some other son of some woman to infect her son or something dastardly. She's no different than this woman here. Was how she used her stepfather. And in my opinion, in my view, I think it was definitely inappropriate. He did everything for this kid. And, I don't think he deserved the lies that she was telling him at all, period, whatsoever. And he wouldn't listen to anybody else, but he definitely would listen to whatever the hell she said. He didn't even know she didn't even have her son. And money he was sending her for his son. So it was shock, to me when I saw those deposits and stuff like that. I was like, bro, this not right. You should definitely have talked to her mom before you did that. And a lot of money. I mean, I'm talking a lot of money. And it made so much sense when I read these deposits. I'm like, okay, so this man is sending her money and actually paying for her divorce. He's sending the son money. She put some away. And then she had retirements and stuff like that. On these paperwork I got right here from the court, it says she had $57,000 in her retirement. She wants the husband's retirement and he used all his retirement. I wonder why she didn't use her retirement. She's using it now, that's for sure. $57,000 she had. The court decided to let her keep it because on November 1st, she has to pay that child support on November 1st. And that needs to be in there. If it ain't in there, it's going to be a problem. It's going to definitely, no question about it, be a serious problem. And from what I heard from the people involved with the court, is that she don't make it, they're going to instantaneously put her in custody. And she's the one who raised the child support issue up. It wasn't even an issue. They would have just got their divorce going on about their business. But she was steady trying to get alimony and dissipation that she didn't qualify for because she gave that up when she got married. And she's raising the fact she wants child support and a host of other things. And what actually happened was they said, well, look, this man, mother, been taking care of this kid. She's been paying thousands of dollars to go to school. You ain't never sent him a shoe. You ain't never sent him a shirt or anything. Why? They said, would they give you child support? You owe them child support. But they wasn't even talking about child support. And now she's in the big thousands of dollars of child support. And I think the first payment, according to the court records I read, said she had to have it in there on November 1st. And if that'd be next week. If it's not in there, according to the judge, he's going to definitely ask her to be in contempt of court. He's going to handcuff her and put her in jail. And she'll stay there until whatever the amount is, which I think is $15,000, especially back child support, is paid, because she hadn't did nothing for the kid at all, period, whatever. And there are things that could have been done, but for whatever her reasons were, they were not done. And she was too busy trying to get the father to come bring it back. Oh, they can be a family. And that man thinking this woman is out of her fucking mind, crazy as crazy can be. Even though she talked to him quite a bit with emails through the whole year. And I got every fucking one of them downstairs. So I'm looking for a job and emailing this man, trying to get him to talk to her, begging him to talk to her. I'm gonna put one of them up here. As we get to the next one, 8, 9, and 10, I'm gonna start showing you the paperwork. And you step laying with another man and laying with other men other than me, and telling this man to come back. And that's the reason why he left your ass. Everything she said about this man is stuff that she was doing. No question about it. I mean, literally everything she was saying about him, calling him gay. I believe she was sleeping with women. She felt so masculine. There was nothing feminine about it at all, other than going to get fake nails. But there was just no glory, no femininity about her. She's the kind of person you say, get your ass under this tractor and hand me the glow plugs, because just showering with roses wouldn't fit. And I could never really understand that, but eventually I would when I learned she had a wicked spirit on the inside of her. She was a reprobate, definitely a sodomite, and looked for, let me just say this, that's right, looked for gay men because they were successful. And if they wanted to, they would sodomize her ass. She didn't care as long as she got what she wanted to get from them. As long as they had deep pockets, it didn't matter to her, because she had lived that kind of lifestyle for so long. That's the reason why she had so many damn problems with her damn stomach and shit like that. You know, her problems probably in the future. No question about it at all, period. You got to be careful with that. We talked extensively about that in part 6. But one of the reasons why I wanted to like get that out there to you guys is because of a couple of women I met during this time frame who had, they were young. Well, I think one was 28, the other one was in her 30s. And they had already engaged in anal sex and thought that they were going to increase their relationship and all that stuff by letting this stuff happen. What happened was they both wound up with hysterectomies, permanent, not hysterectomies, I mean with colostomies permanently. And those guys didn't even visit them because most of those guys had moved on to other relationship with women who didn't have colostomies. And that's what you do when you're stupid enough to let somebody tear you apart, period. And I went hard on that so y'all can think about that, because I'm telling you, take it from a real man. No real man wants to put nothing in your behind at all whatsoever. Not a real one, but one who puts it in men's behinds and stuff like that. They see no difference between a man's behind and yours. And so they want that kind of stuff did. But I was shocked to know that there are people like her who will oblige these people for hair, for nails, and destroy their bodies and things of that nature. And like I say, have been doing it for a long time. And that's why she would call him gay. I remember like the cable bills used to come in. And when the cable bills came in, I never seen this before. Like I get a cable bill and a cable bill would come in $60. I had never seen anybody with a $600, $700 cable bill. And this would come in every fucking month. And so I'll be like, why is this cable bill so high? And it wasn't because she was, well, it was because she was a little behind. So I approached the cable company to figure out what the hell was going on with Xfinity. And Xfinity said part of it was because somebody was ordering these sex channels. Each one of these channels like $29, and had all these sex channels on the channel. And I remember sitting there one day looking at it. Then the sex channel pop up and they got the husbands and the ex-husbands on there. He was a husband still at that time. I'm like, what the hell is his name doing here on the cable? You want me to pay this motherfucker, but it's his name. And what the hell? All the sex channels on there. And I said, damn, no wonder that kid was screwed up. That kid was fucked up. And they were talking about he was sexually assaulted and all that shit. I'm like, well, it's not difficult to believe because you got so much unprotected sex channels that didn't even require a password. He probably was in there watching it. There's no question about it. He probably was in there watching it. Listen, I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to tell you 3 things I ain't never seen.
But 3 things I ain't never seen. a UFO, a faithful hoe, and a pink slip to a pussy.
That's the truth. 3 things I ain't never seen: a UFO, a faithful hoe, or a pink slip to a pussy.
But 3 things I ain't never seen: a UFO, a faithful hoe, and a pink slip to a pussy.
I'm like him. I ain't never seen it before. Let me let you hear some of the court trial. This is Judge Keith A. Johnson, who finally freed her first husband August the 27th of this year. He finally got free of her ass, financially divorced and everything, even though she went back in October the 3rd to file an appeal to try and overthrow the judge's financials and the divorce, which won't happen because by November the 1st, she won't have that child support money. They're going to put her ass in jail. But this is some of the court.
Are now assigned to me per the direction of the presiding judge of the Family Division, Judge Tegler, and frankly also Chief Judge Hall. So I know the parties indicated previously there were at least 3 afternoons devoted to a trial of a number of issues. Let me know how I can help trying to get this case across the finish line. I don't recall if there was an indication that transcripts might be available. If we had a court reporter for the trial, one possibility is we could get the transcripts. I could rule on the transcripts. Perhaps the parties could agree to a joint memorandum of facts and submit legal briefs on closing argument and proposed judgment orders. We could handle it that way. Worst case scenario.
He was crazy. He was. He was the 3rd judge in 8 years. The 3rd judge in 8 years. Now, she would tell me that, okay, it was his fault. He was doing this, that, and the other. At some point in time, I started talking to the lawyers. And they all told me she's a liar. Her lawyers now. I talked to 1, 2, I talked to 3 of them. And they told me she was the problem. 2 of them had even negotiated a deal where she would have actually got a few dollars and got to keep her home and everything. And she fired them because they were closing the divorce, which means that this guy would be flying from Washington, D.C. to see her ass every day or every time she wanted something to go on. She loves being in court. As I recently found out, she thinks somebody told her one time she looked like a lawyer, one of those crooked ass guards. Her dumb ass actually thinks she's a lawyer, going into court and trying to go up against skilled lawyers who've been doing this shit for 40 and 50 years, and they just cracking up because they don't believe it. But when you work this stuff, hoodoo and voodoo, trust me, they believe it. And she was doing all this shit. You know, like you see, here's the love spill up here. And this one, the first one says to remove a love rival. Take the dirt from where the rival walked, scraped the dirt up from the heel to the toe, and then throw it in the river. She's doing all of this shit. 2, to make someone hot for you. Take the tracks from where they stepped and sprinkle it onto a red anthill. Pink it. A red anthill. These are actual spells. And again, if you are not on God's side or whatever God you worship, and he better be a God better than this one. Because if he's not, this stuff does work, okay? Because you have no protection. That's the reason why you want to be able to say, the Lord is your shepherd, and you shall not want. You want to be able to say, he that dwelleth in the secret place of the Most shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. And, you know, I got back in my secret place. And getting back in my secret place and trying to get up out of this damn house with all this shit going on up in it. And I don't care what I say, stop this shit. It's you're messing up. This is crazy. You know, you're messing up. And then I came to the conclusion, for 6 months, I was holding divorce papers. And I said, look, you're fighting for your son. This is her son. That's what her father, he's deceased now. This is the guy who's sending all the money. I said, you're fighting for your son, and you're fighting to keep this house or whatever you can get. I said, sign these papers and let me get out of this shit. You know, just let me go. I want to get the hell out of this shit. Nah, bro, you'll go when I say you can go. I was like, are you for real? I mean, just sign these and let me go home. And, I came here single. I'd like to go back home single. I don't even want to explain to anybody that I've actually been here. I just will forget this shit or whatever it may be. If you just go ahead and sign this and we can get this done in one day, because I didn't want to leave with a divorce on the thing when it could be up and done in one day. If she just signed, she refused to do it. And then started to bring in, I should give her money. I'm like, out of all the money your ass is getting, you're getting thousands and thousands of dollars for your father. He even called her, 2 days before he died, and told her he had failed and that he had left a lot of money, shit under the bed for her son, rare coins and things of that nature. It was downstairs in the basement. Make sure you get it and all that kind of shit like that. I'm like, man, please. She wouldn't do nothing but use that shit and sell it or whatever the hell it would be anyway. And I thought it was inappropriate because he didn't tell his wife. He told her that she was going to come down there when he died and go down in the basement and just get shit from up under there. And I'm like, some of this shit don't make any sense at all, period. It just didn't make any sense. And why you didn't tell your mom? Why would you want it? If there was nothing inappropriate about this, then she would have told her mom about this. But she would lie to her mom's face, lie to her friend's face. I started looking at something. I started looking at not just me. I started looking at other people who were involved with trying to hurt them. And I started to recognize they were cursed. One girl is a nice lady, a nice professional. She should be married and everything. Her love life goes bad. I remember she said to me, well, she caught her boyfriend in a restaurant somewhere with another woman, and I'm glad she did. I knew he wasn't no good. I met him one time, so she had to learn the hard way for herself. I'm like, damn, that's a harsh thing to say. I looked at another friend who would stop doing what she was doing and come and spent some days working with her and all of that shit like that, supporting her as best she could. Then I looked up, and to my surprise, in less than a year, she was having her breast removed. And I looked at another friend, one who tried to advise her and shit, and she was the stupidest one. I actually heard her and went off on her ass, but nevertheless, she wound up losing her husband. Her husband dropped her ass like a bad habit. All those people who were trying to watch her brother trying to embrace her, and when he started embracing her, and she started to doing fucking resumes for his daughter. His daughter carried a baby for 9 months. I'll never forget this. Baby was fine. Got involved with her and doing some shit, and the next thing I know, on the day that her daughter just left the hospital and told her to go home, get ready, come back, you can have a baby, that girl gave birth to a stillborn baby. The baby died. And furthermore, then the brother's mother-in-law died. I'm like, everybody who gets involved with you, something jinky or something bad happens to them. And the only thing that they did was get involved in you. Why the hell that they can't tell? And I said, this is absolutely incredible. So my concern became, not having these things affect me any more than they had. I mean, I took some losses, but they were lessons. It was okay because I promise you, I've recouped now. I promise you I have. I mean, I've gotten triple for my trouble in trying to help this woman. But some of the things those people lost, they never would lose. And the father helping her, I never will forget. He was talking to her on Thursday and telling her some things about him. He had fell, he had memory problems, some stuff that she already knew, didn't tell him because his sister had told her. And that was Thursday. Tuesday, the father would be dead. What did the father do? Like I told y'all, he sent her all this money. He would go on the 3rd to ORNL and deposit money directly into her account. And she was using that money to pay these lawyers. And what did these lawyers do? All they did was lose everything because they were not lawyers. They were not skilled lawyers anyway. They were just lawyers who practiced traffic that would help her for divorce because she was chewing up credit cards. This woman had $1.5 million in credit card debt. And just letting lawyers chew on it, just give them their credit card and they bill it $1,500 a week. And with the money the father was sending in would pay the minimum. And they just building it.
2 and 3 lawyers at one time, one in DuPage County, and she felt good because these were black lawyers. I'm like, you must don't know shit about lawyers in Illinois. They're not the ones going to jail. They're not the ones in trouble. They would chew the hell out of your credit cards, and they ain't done nothing for you. Look, the least your lawyer is supposed to do is be able to start reunification classes. I know people who've abused their children so bad that if I showed you pictures, you'd get sick. But not one of her lawyers could even get her visitation rights with the kids. And part of the reason is, I'm going to show you Dr. Dockman's reports and stuff like that, is they designated her as mentally ill. Mentally. And she said they changed it from physical to mental. No, you mental and it was physical. Those papers don't lie. They're going to be up here shortly. You're going to be able to see it. Those papers don't lie. You admitted that you beat that boy with an extension cord and you wasn't getting that kid back. That was a problem in the Midwest in the 70s and in the early 80s, where parents actually took brown extension cords, tied them up in knots, and beat their children. So Illinois really cracked down on that stuff like that. So how you gonna come in the 2000s, 2020, and talking about you beat your son with an extension cord? They already got rid of that shit 20 years before you came, and then you confessed to it. So that's why she lost the kid. And then the doctors wrote that she was psychologically impaired. This is what I mean by this shit is easy to get into, hard to get out. So when you get ready to get out of a marriage, if you got children, to single women who got children, the reason you got your children is because you ain't married. If you were married, you got to go through hearings, and then you and your spouse has to go to court-appointed doctors. If those court-appointed doctors show favoritism, like they favor the husband, don't favor you, then they're going to write something negative about you, and then you're going to lose custody of your child. This is true. Ask people who got divorced. The 215 is where they want you to do psychological reports. And these doctors are loyal to nothing but the court because they get paid by the state and they get paid from you too at the same time. And so the court is making them have money. So if the judge if he's showing favoritism, of course, the doctor is going to go along with whoever the judge wants comes to the child. So as resist and not follow the court's rulings and stuff like that, then finally you have to give in, and the doctor starts to asking the questions. They found her psychologically impaired. They found her it kind of read it like this. I'm giving you an example. It would be like, they said she was paranoid, delusional, schizophrenic, a danger to herself, society, and children. I'm like, there ain't no damn way you get no kid with no report like that. A danger to herself, society, and children. You could forget about it. And how did I get that? She was so fucking junky. Like I always say, this is an island. This stayed like this for over 2 years. And more junk just piled there. And as you get down to the bottom of it, you start seeing junk from the early 2000s, 2008, 9, 2010. You would find junk from 2004 that was back in Atlanta. And I'm like, damn, why would this shit be just piled up like this? Thousands and thousands of sheets of paper, bank accounts are stretching back to North Carolina in the 90s. Never changed. Even when you move to Illinois in 2000, you got the same information. Absolutely appalling to sit and live like this and make people think your ass is clean. You're not a clean person at all. It's just in your mind. But nevertheless, I want to say this, that you can say what you want to say, but that lie does work. Because when I wanted to break free and get out of this, I remember what one of my spiritual teachers taught me. If you ever find yourself entrapped with people who work black magic and voodoo and all of that shit, make sure you get some red devil lie. Now, I know y'all can't find it, but it look like that. Red devil lie. And you can see where it says in the right-hand corner. You can put it about the house and on the farm. So if you're on a farm, you put this in the four corners of that farm, and whatever is evil will leave you. I promise you. You could sprinkle this in your office. I know people who've already told me since they watched this that they've gotten live and they can feel the difference in their home. And I know people who told me that their grandmas told them about this and they just forgot what kind it was. And what I did was remind them, and they went and did exactly what grandma told them to do, and they can see the change. When I finish with this shit and got the fourth part down, because I won't forget, because this is the day that I'm going to leave here. So I want out of this completely. I want out of this house. I want out of this damn relationship. This woman is schizo embolism. And I know she had been out there burying things in that yard. And so I'm going to put down 4 parts of this. So this is how y'all do this. Y'all been asking, many of y'all been asking. You got to take 4 parts, 2 teaspoons, and to put it in the 4 corners. Now, when I put down the first corner, I heard something move upstairs and then I stopped. I did, I just stopped. Then I put it down in the second corner. She started screaming like, Bay, and I didn't answer because you didn't call me that. Fuck it, I wasn't answering to it. When I put down the third part, it was really screaming like, do you hear me? She knew somehow, could feel something was going on. But when that died down, I put down the fourth part, she called me by my name and came downstairs. I was talking about, so what's going on here? Something's going on. I ain't nothing going on. I played dumb. And nevertheless, that led to about 45 minutes after that, me getting a phone call about this convention. Her trying to get pictures with Shamar Moore, taking pictures with him. He was down there. That's what Sherm does to bring you down there. They just bring you down there to see these people in these venues. He's there because of his studio. Ain't nobody get no jobs or anything. And I'm not going to go up on Shamar because she's a fucking idiot. But nevertheless, that's what they do. So she's down here. And there were other people there. I couldn't go because she tried to kill me. I told y'all. She gave me something to drink that put a hole in my larynx. And instead of my blood circulating through my body, it started to go to that hole. And I went from 7.17 blood to 5. And my heart, lungs, arms, and things couldn't pump any blood because it wasn't there because she gave me something to drink. However, I wound up going to the doctor. I told her, I said, I know you poisoned me, but we're looking at this shit right now. And when it happens, then, you're definitely going to be prosecuted. I tried to warn her. But nevertheless, I wanted out of this shit and let her go to these things and do whatever nasty people do. And so I got out, this the honest goodness truth. After I put that fourth part down, that's when other people who were down there and their relatives were down there, and they started to sharing pictures and stuff and things with me, stuff she did the first day and how she tried to come the second day and warn people that I was there and that I was coming. And they shared all the information with me. And even the first day when she was down there changing wigs and changing in clothes in the washroom, they sent me all those pictures, all those videos. I said, you know what? I've heard enough. I want to get out of this. I put 4 parts, lie down, and I got the hell out of that. She went upstairs, went to the washroom. I got the hell out of there. She tried to follow me too, but I knew she didn't have no gas. I didn't give her ass no money, so she need money to get gas inside of a car because she has no money. Like, why the fuck would you even go buy a car? You only got an alleged temporary job. You don't have a permanent job. You have no permanent source of income. You can't even pay your damn cell phone bill. And you want to go out and buy a car that you can't afford to pay for. It didn't make sense to me. And then you want to make somebody else pay for it for your ass, use their resources, and you can't afford to pay for it. Now that mom has got money from the dad, at least she believes so. Just before we left, the mom called. Well, no, she actually been sending the mom cards and letters and shit. One of the things I would learn from X is that she would send letters instead of call people when she didn't want you to know what she was talking about. She started sending the mom cards. Mom didn't really send cards back. So one day she called her mom and mom told her, well, I bought me a brand new car. It wasn't a brand new one. It was 2023 Tacoma. And so the mom bought that Tacoma. that was a red flag to her that, okay, mom must have got dad's rest of his money now that he died. Now, I found the father's death suspicious. I'm going to talk about that in part 8. This is part 7. Okay, so y'all remember, this is part 7, which we call it a hoe's disguise. The woman that I married was married to somebody else and didn't tell me. I found a dad's death suspicious on a lot of reasons. One of the things that I found excruciatingly suspicious is when she laid down and went to sleep, she was asleep. So her phone was blowing up and blowing up and blowing up. So I'm like, okay, fine. I got the phone, and it was the father's sister. And the father's sister began to explain she didn't want to get involved with anything, but you know, her, her father was dying. I'm thinking like she just talked to him 2 days ago. Why is he dying? And I'm trying to wake up. Now she's getting pissed off because I'm waking her up. I'm saying, well, your auntie's on the phone, and your auntie's saying your father is dying. When she heard the word dying, then she really jumped up. And then aunt began to explain to her, and it's on loudspeaker so I can hear it, that he was dying, and that the mother was sitting there watching him die. That's exactly what she said, watching him die. And she's not calling the kids. So the mother didn't call her 2 sons, definitely didn't call her, but she was just sitting there watching him die. I'm like, that is strange. I thought you and your father was close. So your mom is sitting there watching him die, and she's not telling you. So then she had to pick up the phone and call her 2 brothers herself and tell them. And then they eventually made their way down there. And so I'm just listening and I'm going, wow, this is weird. And so after I further listened, some of the things just didn't make sense to me. One, he got up a certain time every morning and he had things to do in the community. He was a very powerful man in the community. And he doesn't come up for a while, a long time. And so he didn't come up for breakfast or anything. And what I'm told, she called down there with Hadley. There was no movement or whatever. So a great deal period of time went past. Then eventually she goes down, and instead of calling 911, she calls somebody to try and help him. I'm like, okay, if this were my spouse and my spouse fell out, even though I'm nursing and trained, I'm gonna have 911 on the way. 911 has to be on the way. I'm not gonna call anybody to help me. I need the help of 911. I need defibrillators and everything, and they coming with that. I found that strange. Then the next thing I would find strange, it was after he died, something that was probably will always be the oddest thing for me, and I did investigate it for a while, is the coroner. Listen to me good. The coroner of this town, the coroner, is his regular doctor. That is a huge conflict of interest, especially when it comes to the TVA, because someone's able to talk to the coroner and tell the coroner exactly what they want put on his death certificate to make look like he died from that nuclear disaster, and that would make them qualify for money. And then after the science didn't take his body, he was cremated immediately. So you know what happens is if you want to go back and find anything, if a person's cremated, it's not likely, it's not going to happen. And I was like, okay, maybe he wanted his body donated to science, but I didn't hear anything about it being cremated if they didn't want his body. And so to me, when people cremate people that are too poor to have a funeral, or you can watch any crime story you want to, from 48 hours to whatever it may be, when they're dealing with a person that has poisoned or harmed another person, the one down part about it is they get to the person and the person has been cremated. So I started looking into that, looking into the 911 phone calls, looking into the time, and it just became weird to me, the time that lapsed and all of these things, precious minutes, which I think could have possibly made a difference, but that's my opinion. could have possibly made a difference. And nevertheless, he dies. And what happens after he dies? Total confusion. The mom and daughter at the graveyard going back and forth at the cemetery for a man who has lived a righteous life throughout his community and stuff. And you want to confront and argue at the cemetery. I've never seen nothing like that before in my life. Then that went away. And then after that, the daughter is accused of stealing money. Well, I can attest she didn't steal it. It was voluntarily sent by him on a monthly basis. And every time he got a chance, through cards, through letters, Valentine's Day, stuffed animals, money came for her and this kid, Mom. So just so you understand, was nothing stolen. He sent it. He wanted her to have it. He sent it and didn't tell you. He would call on Sundays while he's washing his clothes. He called on Thursdays and called on Tuesdays. It was regular to talk to her about that little boy and to talk to her about her divorce. And I was surprised to know that even mom didn't know. I told her, I said, stop lying to your mama. Tell your mama the truth. You ain't got this fucking kid. You lost all rights to this kid. You'll never have this kid again. And yet you're telling her, oh, we're going to be reunified. Oh, I'm meeting with Dr. Earl Grosvenor, and he's a reunification. Earl Grosvenor wasn't no damn doctor. He wasn't no reunification therapist. The kid was practically living in Washington, D.C. So how's the Illinois doctor doing any reunification? And still not reunified, just lying to these people, lying over and over again. And what were they doing? Just trying to help, send money. And then every time they sent money and did things for them in their life went bad. And I'm like, wow, there's something wrong with this. And then as the truth starts to come out, then her life starts to unravel. It starts to unravel. And then realize that everything this woman said, that's why she's fighting so hard with lawyers, so the truth can't come out, so her friends can't hear this, don't want them to hear the truth. Not only hear the truth, but I can prove it. I have every freaking document available to prove that what I'm saying. And so she's in fear for her life, that jobs to find out she's a fraud. And she befriends people to teach her how to do work that she don't even know what the hell she's doing. Knows nothing about medical benefits, talent acquisition, staffing, nothing at all, period. Just put on a wig and hopes that somebody in power flirts with her and that gets her shit by. That's why in 20 years, she's only had 3.5 jobs in 20-something years. And most of those jobs from 2007 to 2015, the longest one probably lasted 1.5 years in 2019. And then the other one, she sued them for racism with the EEOC and took a small amount of money, but there was no length of time that she'd ever worked 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 years. So how in God's name, or who in God's name, was paying for that fucking house and those utilities? Because the husband moved out in 2017. He moved out in 2017. So who was paying for it? Anybody who she could find was paying for it, utilizing their funds, their money, pretending she was some kind of fucking victim or anything, or sex or whatever she could to get her way and to get this damn house, friends, borrowing money from them and stuff, playing a victim. Oh, this man is doing this, that man is doing that. And they listening to this shit. And this man, they ain't bothering this bitch. She's bothering him, calling him. I have the calls, all the calls. She's calling him. He won't even talk to her. She's emailing him, pleading with him on how we can be a family again like we used to. This is in 2019. This man been gone since 2017, and you calling him, and he's still saying you're a dope. And you're still going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And then when he makes a bold statement that he's getting married, she believed the shit. And then she went and got married, not recognizing that that's exactly what his lawyer wanted her to do. Because if she gets married, she cancels out her dissertation and she cancels out any spousal support she would get, because it ends because you get married. And you shouldn't have gotten married, but she got married because he told her he was getting married. So she wanted to beat him to the punch. How stupid could you be? So after I put down that lie, and I ain't lying, I'm telling you the truth. After I put it down in the four corners of that house, I put it down there like that. There's no joke. I was free. I was free from a hole's disguise. I was free and got out of this place completely. And almost a couple of days after I left, a place she wouldn't clean, it became spotless. This is the police taking a picture because they'd been in the damn house and it was empty, and was able to move her mother and them and lie to her mother and them to get money. And the neighbors had pictures of trucks and everything, and was able to get out of this house in a couple of days. And part of the reason why she's getting out, because she's already warned by the judge that he's going to give her ex 48 hours to come through the house to get all the stolen stuff that she had in there. And she had to surrender the child's social security number, divorce, in court on her taxes when she knew her she was still using them on her taxes. This, you got was as usual.
See, I loved you like a sister, but you died too quick, and that's why we called you bitch. I bet you. See, I loved you like a sister, but you died too quick, and that's why we called you bitch. I bet you.
Could you get your hoe? I wish you would. I call that bitch a hoe because that shoe it fits so good. All through the hood, fucking niggas with no prophylactics. Scared to ask your name, it's 96, it's getting drastic. Without your plastic headed for the red with your sex. Because you eat from behind and you ain't trying to get no head. I heard you said that you love that hoe from here to China. Is it blind as straight jaws can see that hoe got jaws like breaks through my.
That's what we see Jay-Z has done. That's what we see Puff has done. The music don't become how you pay the bills. It's a lot of pressure off of it. You got other things bringing in income, you can make music.
This new song with Nip and Jay, what the fuck, I got something to say. What a slap in the fucking face. Like what the fuck is going on? Who told you that song and did you know all along? And why did your bitch sell that painting 2 weeks after he was gone? I'm gonna tell you what it feels like. It feels a little fishy. Feels like something's going on ever since that John Legend song and college prediction of a Grammy. If you ask me, I can't stand him. Seems a little weird. Question number 1, why is there no blood? Question number 2, Sam left in the AM is true, but you're talking about the shits all up in the afternoon. Don't trip, we're gonna find out the truth soon. Who did what to who? Did they plan to eat the chili fries or was it just a surprise? Can you see the lies of witness in a cowboy's eyes? Are we gonna just sit here and forget? Are we gonna ride like Nip said? It's a little weird that the judge quit. Handing out immunities like candy makes me sick. I got a lot of unanswered questions like, why's the footage all grit and I can't see shit? Who the fuck is that white man in that white BMW? Probably was the FBI. Yeah, I noticed that white guy, and I noticed the car wasn't in the pictures when they showed them afterwards. They thought we would forget. They got that shit backwards. They weren't expecting me to drop this track and raise all these questions with my Mac words. I'm really mobbing through LA smoking backwoods. I've been doing this shit all my life. TMC, AMI. You might just see an empty parking lot when you ride by. Well, me, I see way more. I see an independently owned store. I see the community taking power back, whether you're white, Mexican, Asian, or black. As long as you're not blue. Good ones, there might be a few, but from my life experience, I'm like, fuck that. I'm not defending Eric, but what's the fucking delay? They requested a quick trial, it's been over 800 days. They try to distract us in so many clever, creative ways. Yeah, you got your Grammy, and now you're a billionaire. But what about the families that are still living there? Seems a little unfair, just a little something to compare. I never seen a fireman wearing a bulletproof vest. Yes, the shit to me seems a little suspect. The shit's a little weird. Crisis actors taking away our fathers, making our child some bastards, killing creative men and women for their masters. The waves that Nip wrote in, you didn't know it would begin. A bunch of new chapters. You didn't think about what would happen after. We would put the pieces together on your transparent bullshit. I can see right through it, like the clear blue sky in the LA sunny weather, where the palm trees swing side to side and we ride together on a white horse or a double R hearse in a foreign car. Either way, you gotta be on guard, because they're on tap for anyone who's brown or black with tats. Everybody sees it, but nobody wants to attack. It's sad if you ask, we all gotta blast back. We're in the game, though we can't touch the ball. Seems a little unfair if you ask me, that's all. So take your ignorant ass to YouTube and type in Tanika Views to get the real news. We're doing the shit for justice, not views. Sharing knowledge and coming together, that's the real tool. He tried to lead us to the lake, so don't sleep on the knowledge that he gave to me and you. He wanted us to learn from his mistakes, so with our new knowledge, good decisions we could make. And also one thing I wanted to say myself, they killed Dr. Sebi because he was teaching health. Assassins, they come in all shapes and sizes, big booties, hips and thighs. Oh, you're Diddy's girl, right? Oh yeah, John Legend, some things happen at your video shoot. I got a couple questions for you. All those strings you pulled, you still can't make a rap hit. You punk ass little bitch, you probably got a little dick. All the shit that you have to did. This new song with Nip and Jay, what the fuck, I got something to say. What a slap in the fucking face. This new song with Nip and Jay, what the fuck, I got something to say. What a slap in the fucking face.